What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. I hope you guys are ready, because today we are finishing off X-Men Forever. This is the fourth and final issue for this series, and there's been a lot that's going on. Enigma, the biggest threat facing all of humanity, all of existence. The only hope they have is the Phoenix. They must kill what remains of it so that it can be reborn. The only person capable of doing this job, with the assistance of another, is Hope and Legion. The combination of their Omega powers together is more than sufficient to do the job and do what needs to be done. But Enigma is also making plays, going back in time, going to Hope's mother all of those years ago, and tries to rewrite history. So make sure you guys have subscribed to the channel, make sure that you like this video, and with that being said, let's dive into this breakdown. Alright gang, so as we pick up with this issue, it does start us off with Sinister and Destiny. And I really have grown to love their relationship throughout this Krakoan era. We have tracked them back all the way back to the early days of Nathaniel Essex. Destiny has been telling him all of this time that at the end of the day, they gotta be on the same side. But right now, Destiny has no hope, that there is no way through. Enigma will always win. Right now, she is seeing a splintered timeline, a minefield that lays before her. And oddly enough, this is where Sinister comes in as a voice of reason. He talks about once being able to construct a model that predicted all the actions of mutant kind. It was a model that worked very well until the arrival of the Phoenix. He knows if the Phoenix plan works, no one's gonna see it coming, including Enigma, including Destiny. But Destiny only cares about Raven. She has spent all of her time trying to protect Mystique. She has studied her futures, seen them from start to back and back to start. She has seen Raven die over and over and over again. Sinister not really having sympathy, but understanding, yeah, you've created PTSD in your own mind after witnessing her death after timeline. But Sinister also had the opportunity to study Destiny. With his Moira engine data, he was able to manage to study her predictions. In every situation, she constantly overestimates the chance of her death. On a 50-50 scale, Sinister has theorized that she is hypervigilant. Her sight is drawn to those timelines where she dies. And this is what throws your math off. Love is throwing your math off. This is why he has always said that love is our greatest weakness. The reason Sinister is telling her all of this is because he knows everyone wants to murder him. He knows that all of this is going to end, one way or another. He predicts that Krakoa is not going to be around any longer. This is him planning for his future, because the best case scenario, Krakoa is gone and they're back to being hated. He would rather have at least one person in his corner, one person that may not want to just murder him on sight. And so this gives Destiny the courage, the capability to now go help Mystique, to guide her to Xavier so that she can finally put him down, but only after fixing her brain. As they head off to war, we pick up with Hope and Legion, an Omega level power manipulator, an Omega level power manifester. This mutant circuit can do anything. That includes taking down the Phoenix. As Hope begins to fire Legion, we see the Phoenix become wounded, but then we see the Phoenix begin to fight back. With this ongoing battle, we pick up in the past, 9 months before Hope's birth. Enigma has made his arrival having a discussion with Hope's mother, Louise Spaulding. He informs her of her future, that in 9 months' time she's going to die, that she'll be recovering from labor when men with flamethrowers arrive, that she will be murdered along with everybody in the hospital in fear of her child. Of course, she dismisses this at first, but when he shows her, when he makes her feel the pain of her own death, this is when she listens. And in that moment, Hope Summers can feel it. Enigma is trying to change the past. He tells Hope's mother that at the moment you die, he will lift her from the timeline, can bring her to somewhere much like heaven, and deposit her later wherever she wants, whatever she wishes. Enigma simply needs to be Hope's father. and Jean Grey can feel this change, with Hope dropping down to the ground. Jean is telling her that she needs to kill the Phoenix. She is persuaded to leave them alone for a few moments, letting her have the reins, but this isn't gonna last long. That Hope's gotta collect herself. But then when she looks at her, she sees it. The Enigma crown on Hope's forehead. The past is changing. Enigma is becoming Hope's father. And so Jean takes off. Believing that she can stop this, she takes off into the sky. This is where we pick up with Raven and Destiny. The two of them have made their way into the Orcus facility, and they have found where they are holding Xavier. Destiny demanding for him to take the blocks off so that she can love her son, and Charles doesn't hesitate to give this back to her. In an instant, she remembers her son. She remembers the love for her son. She remembers the abandonment of her son. But not having any time to truly think about this, we have the Nimrods that are showing up. They quickly grab hold of Mystique, and Destiny believing that her visions, her premonitions, they're all true. That she saw this going to happen, and there was nothing that she could do to stop it. Except this time, they get some help. This time, Exodus teleports in, grabs them, and gets them out of here in an instant. As we hop back over to the bar with Enigma and Hope's mother, we have the arrival of Jean Grey. Jean comes in, letting her know that you can't do this. Only now can she finally understand. Hope Summers was sent by the Phoenix to make the Phoenix. That is what Hope Mother chose to do here, coming to save mutant kind. But Hope saves so much more than that. She saves everybody. And Enigma tries to argue his stance, that Krakoa was mutants finally learning their final lesson, the real lesson in reality. All you can do is look after yourself. He tells her to learn those lessons, to look after yourself, after your daughter, to join him, and she might actually get to meet her daughter. But Hope's mother immediately turns him down, and she wonders what Hope is like, with Jean letting her know that she's fierce, that she swears a lot, that she looks a lot like her mother. Enigma begins to lose it. He reminds her that she will die in pain, that she won't even remember this moment. He makes her feel every bit of this anger, every scream. But this woman is a firefighter. She runs into buildings that are set ablaze. She knew eventually she would get burned, that her day would come. And in that moment, Enigma disappears. Jean touches the forehead of Hope's mother, and the seed is planted, born from the Phoenix and Jean Grey's love. Circles now and forever. A chain, a ring that is never ending. And then she is gone. As we pick back up with the Phoenix and Hope. Hope back to her regular self, picking up Legion and firing away. In the massive explosion, we see Hope get caught up, and as the flames begin to burn, Hope's body turns to flames. Hope is the last and first fire in the dark. This is where the Phoenix begins. This is where the Phoenix ends. This is the Phoenix now and forever. An unbroken circle of fire. Hope has transformed into the Phoenix, and now the Phoenix must feed, because the true enemy is at the doorsteps. Taking us to the battlefield, we pick up with Exodus, Destiny, Mystique, and Nightcrawler, with Destiny running into the arms of her son, apologizing for everything that she has ever done. In the same breath, we see the sword return back to the hands of Nightcrawler, the sword that is Legion. This means Hope is dead. The plan succeeded. Hope returned from which she came, the flesh made immortal, that she now sits with Krakoa in exile in spirit. Nightcrawler reminding him that they're all over there. All of them alone trapped in the white-hot room, lost forever. But Exodus refuses to accept this. He says they will return, that the Krakoan age will come again, and that they must all fight in this fallen world to prepare for their coming. Meanwhile, Krakoa in exile, the white-hot room. We see all the mutants that are left behind are scared. They're worried. They don't know what they're gonna do. They don't know what's going to happen until our little friend decides he's gonna take some charge. He reminds everybody that they're better than this. They have no rulers. They have no leaders. They have no heroes. The people here are the people in charge. They are now the Quiet Council. And the reason that they are quiet is because they must listen. This is when they start to make a list of everything that they are going to need if they're going to survive here in this place. And that will be the end of this issue. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. I think this issue is more than confirmation that what I've been saying is in fact true. While yes, technically the Krakoan age is ending, all the characters and everything are still going to be spilt over. That all of these individuals are gonna be in the white hot room. And I would even go as far as saying Xavier's dream did come true. It just didn't include any of the mutants that were on the Quiet Council from the get-go. The most powerful, the Omega levels. The truth is, the dream survives. It lives on, outside of time and space, on this lost piece of exiled Krakoa. The dream can thrive. Away from the turmoil, away from the hatred, away from the grabs for power. This is not to say that they won't have their own issues internally, but some of the biggest problems, the majority of the problems that were wrong with Krakoa, those are all gone now. And it's just the little guy, the unnoticeables, that are left over standing. Now, let's talk about the Phoenix. This was a kind of confusing story, because they're saying that the Phoenix is dying, and we know the Phoenix can't die, it's just a cycle of rebirth. I think this really seals the deal on and explains what they were trying to say. More or less, they're saying that Hope was born so that she could rebirth the Phoenix. That Hope herself is the Phoenix, was always the Phoenix. And Jean, she's the wielder of the Phoenix. For most people, this is understood, especially when it comes to Jean. But in a sense, Hope was the Messiah the Exodus had always preached. She sacrificed and gave her life so that the Phoenix could live. But she was also always the Phoenix. Much related to everything with Christian theology. And so her sacrifice has the capability of saving everything. To save them from the dominions that are now going to be descending down on them. I will be covering the Marvel Free Comic Book Day Uncanny X-Men. I'm going to be covering that video later today, and we're going to discuss a little more in depth on where X-Men are going as the Krakoan era comes to an end, and maybe even the possibility of seeing a Rocco still standing on the other side. But let me know what you guys think. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your theories. If you want to get caught up on everything that is going on with this series, go ahead, check out the link in my description, as well as the top of this video. It's going to get you completely caught up on everything that has been going on with this series. If you would like to support the channel, you can always do so by joining the channel membership. Much like Patreon, having multiple different tiers, from $1 to $50, from loyalty badges to comics every single month. Not only are you helping out the channel tremendously, you are getting tons of perks in the process. Now, if you're unable to do this, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, like this video, hit that notification bell, and with that being said, until the next breakdown.